Hey everyone, and now we are here for the Master Finale. Welcome again, this is Tom, and we're going to be commentating the Master Finale to decide the first ever Master Tactician. We're going to be having to see a Apoc from Romania and ZweiStein from Germany go at it in this best of three competition. They've both fought their way to get here and have to go through a bunch of former champions, and now they're at the very last match. A lot is on the line. The highest title in MonTac TCG competitive. We'll see how this goes. It's best of three, of course, so it's definitely going to be a bit of a long one. Yeah, so they've missed timing on Ostkip there. Another huge mistake. We'll have to see if that costs ZweiStein in the long run. Advantage for him, though. Ooh, and recovery. So much for bricking. It looks like Apoc did not brick after all, and he had exactly what he needed. He was just waiting for ZweiStein to commit. And that is going to be very dangerous indeed. The mind games are real at this stage. The ZweiStein is definitely here. That is a trademark of the ZweiStein. Early game Rogue Beast recovery. Basically what it can do is it can send two Rogue Beasts to the perish pile. Those Rogue Beasts activate off being sent via a Rogue Beast card. One of them is going to be Chimera, which can spin something back to the bottom of the deck, and the other one is a False Rider. Now what this thing does is when it's sent to the perish pile due to a Rogue Beast card, it can send another Rogue Beast card from deck to perish pile to play itself. So he can easily get a board here, very nice, and on top of it all, this is going to stop ZweiStein from attacking at all, since it restricts players that, basically it says only this turn, Rogue Beasts are the only ones that can attack. So since ZweiStein has no Rogue Beast, this is going to completely shut down any sort of momentum he was hoping to gain. And if he sends Ostkip, that's going to force ZweiStein to have to pay for that cost all over again. Okay, using False Rider again. False Rider is going to go into Chimera. Chimera can then go into Darius, I guess. Spin back the Darius, open up the board. I just don't know how much damage they can pour through. Roll of 3 means ZweiStein can use Terrosian Guard, etc. Marine Guard, gosh, I need to get that right. Let's see how this is going to go. Multi-attacks now into the Curse Breakers, so now they're within range of potentially ending the match early. But I do believe ZweiStein's got Terrosian Guard, Marine Guard here soon. Here comes Marine Guard for sure. Because now we've got 8 attacks. This is definitely lethal. And I don't believe there's much left in ZweiStein's perish pile, so this is definitely lethal. If Dylan perishes here, and ZweiStein does not have a Marine Guard, this is already over immediately. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. This is interesting. This is a bit of a conundrum now for Apoc. He has to get through Dylan. Ooh, and he's forced to pass. Seems ZweiStein has learned from getting all those OTKs. Final turn before extra time. If there's any health loss they want to take, it has to be now. Because the next time if you lose a single health point, you are immediately out. We're now in extra time. Dragon Cupid. Oh, they did have the second Dragon Cupid. That's going to take Darius. It's going to stop Null Factor from going off. And I believe that's all he can do. I believe that takes out ZweiStein. But we'll have to find out. Is this lethal with his own Darius? Anything he can do with his own Darius, that would be pretty messed up. Using Gareth. 1600. Okay. Not a horrible way to go about it. But they still need a breakthrough. Taking out Gareth. Double dropping Ben. So it plays him from Perish Pile, right? Or not. Oh, it gave the additional power. That is lethal. Game 1 done. Apoc takes the win in late game, takes that match. We now move on to game 2. And welcome back, everyone. We are in game 2 of the Master Finale. Game 1 went to Apoc after a long battle there, where ZweiStein did dominate 2/3 of it, but unfortunately was not able to keep out the Sword Saint. Well, now we enter game 2. Apoc has a lot of pressure on them to finish this match, as it was incredibly close the first time. They're going to be looking to make this very quick indeed. Obviously, the winner of this week on the very first Master Tactician, and we'll have to see how this goes. But this is looking to get pretty intense very quickly. Starting off the match with a roll of 6, ZweiStein goes first. Mask of Delusion, shuffle back to draw a card. Very nice, very nice. Definitely a lot learned in that first game. It's going to be very interesting to see if Apoc can close it out. They definitely entered a pretty fragile state in that last one, but this is the Masters where the best of the best compete. We've got 3-time former pro champ ZweiStein, 3-time former pro champ Apoc. Both have seen their share of success. Many awards won between the two of them. And we've got Osakit right off the bat. Means ZweiStein is definitely taking notice. That is a right play indeed. Osakit is a great card for aggro strats because of its power level. It's about 5,000. And the great thing about it being in Vigilantes is that you can actually specialty move it with your Dylan. And that will stop its power from dropping every turn. So you've got this blanket 5,000 turn 1. Doesn't cost you too much. And ZweiStein has picked up on what they did wrong in the first game. They realized they needed to get Darius in the Perish Pile far earlier. So now it's going to be very interesting to see if they can finally get that done. And they're going to force Apoc to play a monster from deck. A response from Apoc, we'll see. Xerxes. We're gonna need to cancel that. Hold on. Hold on, we're just gonna get him to stop here. So Darius has to fully resolve before Xerxes can activate. Let's see if they want to retcon this, because remember, everything has to resolve in order. Alright, which can I vote? Okay, they're going to let them continue on. Okay, Sprague's going to then search out the Descent of the Dragon. Just had to fix that ruling there, make sure that was all aware. Everything must resolve in order, and Darius did get the opportunity to special move something before that thing can activate its on play. So, we'll have to see how this goes. Especially moving that off-skip is a really good strat, because I can keep that 5,000 there. Xerxes obviously is in play, which is pretty nice. Swordsman got the Descent of the Dragon from deck to hand. Allows Apoc to get that consistency all the way. It's going to be really important for them to deal with Darius early on and not allow that to take up too much of their resources. Deal on the specialty, moving the Cursebreaker Swordsman. I don't know if that's a huge deal, but it definitely means ZweiStein's probably getting OTK'd here. Especially early game, so you might not have a lot of ways. He definitely doesn't actually, because considering they're Perish Pile, if he can use Recovery to spin some stuff back, that will leave ZweiStein without anything left in the tank. I guess the question is, can he get lethal? Roll of 2, so no Trojan guards, or Marine guards I should say. Keep making that mistake. No Marine guards. No Guilty C if they can get rid enough of the board. They also need 5 attacks on board, which they do not have. Still a roll of 2. Excuse me there. Dragon's firing the Xerxes. Why did he say Dragon's Fire? I heard him say Dragon's Fire and I repeated it, but we got Dragons with a Feather on the Xerxes to bring out something, I would guess, Cupid here. Is there a way he can get lethal here? Oh, Ferrorex instead. Ferrorex goes 2,800. That's going to be enough to deal with Darius, but how are they going to deal with the Oskip is the question. Roll of 2, so what the Guilty C is definitely a possibility here. Going to see if if ZweiStein has anything prepared, they've only got 5 cards in hand, so they better hope they've got exactly what they need. They've got nothing in Perish, so they can't use a lot of their Perish specialties and activations. So, yeah, not looking good at this stage. Discarding 2 cards instead of just 1. What does he want in the Perished? Okay. You're going to discard the Curse Breaker Swordsman to pop a monster in play, popping Ossakip. Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it, but that does mean Darius is now online. If it gets special move, it can get the power of that Ossakip, which is 5,000. So you're looking at a 6,700 Darius right now. I don't know if that was a good play, but I guess if he's got enough aggression game 1 in that early stage, well, the Guilty Seat is definitely a possibility here. But why would you use it in this moment against Cursebreaker? I'm not sure. We're getting a response anyway. Looking in response. Savage Dual Shield. Okay, Blast Vigilante Jared now. Let's see how this goes. Zvani definitely needs to get out that Darius. Ooh, and now they finally get to have Lance do something, which is going to be good. If it selects the Ferrorex, it could definitely take out Apoc's entire board. Rogue Beast Recovery in response. 90-second rules in effect for the final 10 minutes. Apoc just needs to win this match to win the whole thing. Obviously, both these guys have been through so much together. Obviously, Apoc joined in March 2021 and was in and around that top 5 for a very long time. Obviously, ZweiStein, when they first joined, came into the June tournament, went undefeated until the grand final, where they were unfortunately unable to get it. But then later on in the year, these two would meet up in December last year, in 2021, for the Pro Tournament, where they would eventually fight it out for the Pro title to decide who would be the first European champion, with ZweiStein coming out on top. Now, 1 year later, we see ZweiStein versus Apoc once again, this time not to decide who will get a 3rd or 4th Pro title. It's to decide who's going to be the first to get a Master title. A title held by nobody else. It is the very first time this title has been contested. It is held and defended only once every 6 months. So the winner of this will hold that title and be known as the Master Tactician for the next 6 months until a new challenger is decided. It'll be very interesting to see who is going to take this match here. Obviously, Orcus is pretty good here. So spinning back to Xerxes is an interesting choice. Casualty goes there. ZweiStein's definitely learning from the prior matches with Apoc. When Apoc actually won the title for the very first time, the Pro title, they did beat ZweiStein with an OTK to do so. So they do have a very storied history now, of course. Both of their first title wins actually came up against each other. It's just about now who's going to be the one to take the Masters first. Obviously, Apoc from Romania, ZweiStein from Germany. representing their countries well. Roll 3 from Apoc. They're going to need to put the pressure on here and force that Darius out. I'm sure Casualty is going to be hitting field soon. A lot of difficult waters to navigate here. The Orcus is really good at 1800, I gotta say. It gets through a lot of monsters. I think really the only ones that are strong enough are other probably class 6s and assets. Without any sort of power up, Orcus forces a lot on ZweiStein. Apoc deck running a pretty top heavy deck, but he finds a way to make it nice and balanced. It's definitely what's contributing to his huge advantages at this stage. Dragon Cupid's going to take Dan, specially moving it, probably going to drop something 300. Now, Dan doesn't have Casualty, but I'm not sure that's going to make a huge difference here. Okay, so looking to crash. That drops the Jared down to 300. But we're going to respond with a Casualty, which will allow him to get Darius. Surely Apoc would have seen this coming, though. Both Dan and Jared are dealt with. Alright, and now Darius hits the field at 3,000. Can Apoc break? Because if Apoc can deal with Darius... Okay, no, they can't. Alright, Darius now has the field. Roll of 1 for ZweiStein. Great roll of 1. It's actually a really good thing for ZweiStein to get the roll of 1 here, because I believe... You double check. I believe they have access to Barox, I would say. And with Barox in line, that gives them multi-attack, tons of specialty removal with Darius there now. So I feel like they have an opportunity to really press the advantage here. I assume Barox is hitting field. I don't think there's really much... Okay, they're going to play False Rider and specially move False Rider. Interesting choice there. Timer check asked now. We're going to hit remind that. Around 7-minute mark. 7 minutes. Gonna see what they have to say now. We've got a Darius over the False Rider. Regenning the False Rider won't be enough though. It's just done so we can get actual use out of it later. 7 minutes left in the match. Apoc's gonna have to turn it up now. I believe they will probably go into... Ooh, roll of 1. So recovery is definitely possible. They've used recovery before, but I don't know if they want to burn through them too much. They've got access to Rapture Dragon. They've got access to Conqueror as well. Although they don't have access to Conqueror, they need Dragon's Fire. But that can easily be done if they roll 3. Or when ZweiStein in the next turn. ZweiStein has lost Ossakip. Why do I feel like I've seen Conqueror? I guess Conqueror... Ossakip got popped by Ferrex this match. Infantry Destroyer Sword being shuffled back, looking for a Titan. Titan would give him 1500 onto anything going to Orcus, which will make it 3300 over Darius. In response, Ben is being discarded. Oh, it can't. That is interesting. Very strong play there. That gets them a lot of good damage there from Dragon Cupid. Apologies for that. So Orcus stands out at 3300. Really, really nice at this stage. It's a lot that Apoc can work with. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the match. And we're continuing on. And roll of 3 now for ZweiStein. Okay, roll of 3. We'll see what ZweiStein can come up with. Barox is going to be really nice here. I believe power-wise it's probably going to be lacking, but he can use... Oh, no, he can't use Dan, actually. Oh, no, he can use Dan. Because Dragon Cupid is until perish, so Dan is a sleep skill that is usable. Plus Vigilante Jared. Jared's going to get a Noble from deck. Really nice, really nice. Okay, got Junior Vigilante Dan. Dan's gonna get another casualty. Okay, casualty goes to hand. You play regardless of class. Do they go into Barox here? Marine Guard is still an option. I don't know if Apoc actually runs Marine Guard now I think about it. Actually, no, yes they do. They do run Marine Guard. I don't know how many copies though. Okay, we got Jared and we're doing Dan here as well. I think Barox here with the multi-attacks is going to be pretty huge. They have to be incredibly careful with this match. They only get once of these. It's only going to happen once for the very first time to decide the very first Master Tactician. So they're taking their time with their plays as they should. Null Factor. Null Factor, I believe, is online. Dropping Orcus to 300. Great play there. And that also gives ZweiStein a draw of 3. Orcus goes to 300. Really nice play there from Zwei. Like, absolutely incredible. Really dealt with that Orcus threat immediately. Very well done. It's interesting to see if they can now capitalize. They can definitely deal with Orcus. They can definitely deal with Dragon Cupid. They can't really go for lethal here, so ZweiStein still looking to be a late game winner at this stage. Okay, thinking through what Apoc will have left. Apoc's definitely doing a lot better this game, actually, funny enough. He's not falling into the same traps that he did before. But ZweiStein still has a lot left in the tank, with both Baroxes actually hopefully getting to see proper use. ZweiStein can turn this match around very easily. They have had matches with Lucky, in fact, where they did face quite large odds and come out the end as the victor. But we're going to have to see if they can do it again today. They have to do it against undefeated Sword Saint, the person who holds the fastest win record. Probably one of the most brutal competitors ever to play some MonTac. And Apoc is looking incredibly dangerous at this stage. Untouched asset. Let's see what ZweiStein's going to do here. I'm not sure what's stopping them from attacking. They look to be fine, unless I've missed something. Go into conflict. Null factor, I assume goes Dragon Cupid, that would make sense. Jared over Orcus isn't a bad idea either. Yeah, goes over that. Will Apoc stop this? Nope. Didn't think he would. Going for a health point. Ooh, Dragon's Fire, that. Very fun, very fun, very fun. And that will crash them. Interesting play there. Yeah, interesting play. I don't hate it. Entering the twilight of the match now. I'm not sure how ZweiStein turns this around. I think the only way they can do it is through Barox. And I don't think there's many other options. A lot of rolls are won in this battle of three, of this best of three. Apoc has got the one, which won't really give them a lot of OTK potential, unfortunately, because ZweiStein has previously established their Perish Pile. They will definitely have access to Barox at this stage. And I fully expect to see Apoc probably just go Conk. Conqueror makes the most sense. Pop, probably Dan, but it's not huge. Dan, I guess he plays Conk, pops the Dan, forces Darius to hit the field, beats over it with Supreme Dragon Conqueror with the roll of 1. I'm guessing that's what we do here. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got Conk, hits field, takes out the Dan here. You got 2 Curse Breeze and Perished, I believe. Yep, so that means he gets the conditions for Conk. Very nice. He just pops Null Factor. Ooh. Okay, I don't think this matters, but it does mean he's being a bit more aggressive. So that might mean he's looking to get a bit more extra damage this turn. Now, of course, I believe Dan still is under casualty, so when it does perish... Well, it's not under casualty yet, but I believe it will be soon. Oh, we're going to do casualty now. Okay. So that means when Dan goes, Darius comes out. Pretty big. Ooh, Apoc is playing very conservatively. Why would Apoc do that? Darius. Oh, Dylan. Dylan or Darius. That's still special moves Conk, so what? I wonder what Apoc is planning at this stage. Because they will get specially moved. I guess he's got regen. Timer pause at, was timer starting again at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Very stressful indeed. They can't make any mistakes. Dylan specially moving Conk. I mean, I guess he's already special move, which is good, but it can't really take out Conk. Conqueror's still too big. Roll of 3. Regen definitely is a possibility from Apoc. But they're going to need to deal with that Dylan, which is, you know, kind of a big deal. I'm not sure why he didn't go and use another monster to beat over it. Maybe he's worried about Guilty Sea and overextending. Yeah, that's going to miss timing, which sucks. Okay, so if we're getting a conflict, it will not trigger conk. Very surprising the judge let him take that regen back. Definitely a pretty big blow to lose Conqueror here. Marine Guard might be the right go. We'll have to see though. Conqueror's done. That's definitely very good for ZweiStein. They're going to be able to keep the momentum back in their favor. It's very close. Asset and deck just one apart. Apoc in their cooldown. Gonna go into Titan Destroyer Sword. Roll of 6 now. Apoc's got the turn. Closing in on extra time. Oppression goes back. Titan hits field. Very likely to be the last turn of main time before extra time. It all on the line. He can't make any mistakes. Passing the turn. Okay, so this is now officially the final turn of the game. Okay. Okay, final turn of the game. Roll of 2 from Zwei. Barox is definitely a good option here, but he could also just go for 1. It didn't even go for a damage. To be fair, though, it would not necessarily matter with extra time. Yeah, damage always matters based on stuff like corrosive, etc., but we haven't seen that yet. Actually, no, we have Mutated Serpent. But, who knows? Roll of 1. Dragon Cupid's going to take the Dylan. Dylan gets 1,000 in its next conflict, which means it goes up to 4950 in its next conflict, which will allow Apoc to go for some serious damage. This is now lethal. We're in extra time. If ZweiStein cannot stop this, it is over. Roll of 1. Guilty Sea can't be done. Marine Guard can't be done. ZweiStein is forced to go to Barox, I believe, here. But the thing is about Barox is he's got multiple copies of Barox, so we should have plenty of ways to defend here. Be very surprised if ZweiStein doesn't have any options. He's definitely got many. He's got Barox, he's got Titus, he's got another Barox. So I believe it's 2 Barox, Ossakip, Titus, Null Factor is his asset at this stage. They started taking their time in response to this attack. If they do not block, they lose. Barox hits the field. Now the thing about this is Apoc can beat over with Dylan, but they want to also force the other Barox to hit the field as well. The issue is, does ZweiStein try to win this conflict and keep their barracks alive, because if they lose it, that's going to force them even deeper into the negatives. But if they block it, they are using resources, potentially a very strong card to defend against it. Dragon Cupid. Okay. Does Cupid go to attack barracks, or are they going to pass the turn? If they do, Dylan goes back, and we now have a full power barracks to deal with, but that did deal with a lot of Zwei's board. What they have left, I would imagine now, is Oskip, right? I mean, they got null factors used. Oh, it's a tacticalism. It's Titus and the tacticalism. Ah, yes. So Titus is left with the tacticalism, which is a pretty big play. Both Cupids have been used from Apoc. I don't think they've got much special removal left except for Carnage Armor. So in the event that ZweiStein has a regen left, I believe that Titus wins ZweiStein the game. Of course, Apoc does have board wipes, so interesting plays. Marine Guard hits that will end the turn immediately, shutting down any sort of chance for a immediate comeback. But Barracks will still live long enough to get another chance to attack. Now it's just about whether Apoc can get that thing done. Dragon Keeper's there, drawing 3. Roll of 2. Roll of 2. Apoc has got Titan 3000 Dragon Cupid over the Barracks. Great play there. Phenomenal. Really well done. Block of Vigilante Gareth sends it. So it's going to specially move Dan, making Dragon Cupid down to 300. Really nice play there. Okay. Apoc is left with a lot less now. I think Rapture Drag is probably a good point at this stage, dealing with that. ZweiStein will only have left Titus, and they definitely have another board wipe left with Utopia. Okay. Roll of 3, we're in extra time. Any health loss is critical here. I don't think Apoc is put together. Then no Apex is from ZweiStein. ZweiStein did not run the Vigilante Apex, which might be a bit of a heavy misplay. We'll have to see. Going to attempt to win with Barracks, especially moving Barracks, which will then use Sleeper to and Darius. Okay, very nice. So that will help them, and then Recovery comes down to defend, but spinning back the Barracks is not a good idea. However, they can spin back the Dylan, which is pretty good. And I believe this is the final turn of Barracks. So that leaves ZweiStein without any defenses except for that big Titus coming down. Barracks cannot make any attacks since it is not a rogue beast. Oh goodness, this is insane. Because Apoc has fought so hard to get to this point, it'll be really difficult for them if they're not able to take this title here and now. After losing the Pro Tile to Misfire, they finally apply the persona of the Sword Saint. They're undefeated deck, Rogue Destroyer Dragons, and have now come back for the biggest title of them all. Let me see. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think ZweiStein has an opportunity to win, but I think Apoc has done incredibly well. Done incredibly well to manage this thus far. I definitely think the asset of ZweiStein is letting them down pretty badly here. Now, so Dan dropping things to 300 is permanent, which is going to be pretty brutal. Yep. But what to see. Just having a look now, just trying to calculate where everything's going. Let's see what the roll is. Where is that roll? Well, the roll is for 3 this turn. A lot less options here for ZweiStein. They can't attack with the Baroks. They're still wrapping this up, taking their time. Definitely a longer match as anticipated. However, we are more than likely to have the previous matches become highlights. We'll have to see though whether this one becomes a highlight as well, or whether it's only game 1. With both Baroxes done, there's no way for him to revive Baroxes because I believe both casualties have been used and have to have no cards left in deck. Checking now. Okay, so only one casualty's been used. You're in a cooldown and pass. False Riders hitting field. Or infield. Roll of 2. Apoc gets a lot of options here. Now, of course, Titus is the main play here. Going to conflict. Going for lethal. In extra time. Oop, that's an accidental clone there. Going for lethal against ZweiStein. Here comes Titus. Titus hits field. 3 cards from hand. Discarding fire and smoke. Ooh, this match just got far more interesting. Because now with fire and smoke kicking the field, this card does not like to be board wiped, and it actually can survive board wipes itself. Which is huge, because a lot of Apoc stuff right now, a lot of their ways to deal with ZweiStein's strategy is board wipe centered. They will have to rely on a sleeper skill from Utopia Dragon if they're running it. And I believe that Crime Partners is going to be very difficult for Apoc. Both Dragon Cupids have been used by Apoc, so their number 1 counter is out the window. Is that correct? Has he used both Cupids? No, he hasn't. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Yes, he has. He has indeed. Both Cupids are gone. Ooh, this is going to be so difficult. Fire and smoke, holy smokes, 5,000 to 11,200. Welcome to MonTac, where the power just does not stop. And we've got Crime Partners standing in the way. Does Apoc have a way to break through here? Even spinning it back isn't necessarily it's not necessarily a guarantee that Crime Partners won't just come back later on. And dealing with Titus itself isn't as bad, but it's also about the regens in ZweiStein. Do they have anything regen left? I've got 1 regen I can see there, but if he doesn't have any regens left, nope, he still has 1 regen left. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. So they're going to need, I think, Utopia Dragon via Dragon Sage. So I'm trying to think of what asset Apoc's running. I know they've got... Oh, wait, hold on. I can check their deck. Funny enough about Apoc, they're actually one of the most dominant champions ever based on the fact that their entire deck they won with in September, the September tournament, is actually free to be watched or free to be seen in the championship deck lists. So I'm just going to look at their assets. We've got War Gear, Conch, Utopia Dragon, Dorian. Yes, they do have Conch, they do have Utopia Dragon. So they should be more than able to do that. Crime Partner's going after False Rider. How many Destroyer Swords? He's going to need a lot. 3, 4, 2,000, 3,800. Ooh, Titan. But if you... Oh, he doesn't know. Can't add Titan. Oh, such a huge misplay. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, that's so brutal. Wow. Sheesh, that is brutal, man. Oh, gosh. Even the board wipe from Invictus will kill Titus, but it leaves that fire and smoke, that annoying thing there. Gosh, this is actually super intense, because there's no guarantee that he can actually out fire and smoke. I mean, I guess Utopia, Invictus, board wipes, takes out Titus. Gains 2 health there. Titus can play a class 2 or below, a class 3 or below fighter. So I guess you grab like a Dylan, not Dylan, who's it, Jared? Jared, you can grab Jared, you can grab Dan, and you can grab, what's the class 3? Class 3 for Vigilantes, I'm mind. Gareth. Neither of those are really amazing. But Jared can then get you a Noble from deck, which is nice. Handle deck. But none of them will be able to attack now. Dealing with the Titus is definitely worth it. It also keeps Apoc alive this turn. Dylan has the field. And it's the 39-50 Dylan. ZweiStein is turning this match around. Let's see if Apoc is going to dip into that Utopia for the very first time. Gosh, this is getting intense. One of Apoc's kryptonite is those crime partners. Let's see. Now for me, I would say we're going to hit... Oh, and that makes the Tacticalism dead an asset for ZweiStein. So crime partners is the last thing ZweiStein has. Okay, so if he can board wipe, he's got game. He needs to go for Utopia, try to beat over crime partners. It won't. And then Dorian board wipe, play Utopia, go for game, would be what I would do. But if ZweiStein has another crime partners and can get it out, or just stop the initial attack from Utopia, this gets incredibly dangerous right off the bat. Okay, so that means that crime partners is still pretty big, but Utopia should be fine. Utopia should be fine here. Utopia is the right play. I think Utopia is the play here. If he's not running Utopia... Oh. I'm trying to think about did he take out Utopia for Rampant or anything? Did he mess with that? I'm just going to have a quick look now and see what he's got. Ooh, okay, no, he had Rampant as well in the last deck list, so he does still have the asset. Okay, and we've got Invictus. That is definitely the right play. Now this guy has not seen play. That is correct. So he's using the Conqueror and Invictus for that. Oops, sorry about that. Going to War Gear his own Invictus, which will board wipe. Fire and Smoke is gone. It does not defend against Sleeper Skill, leaving ZweiStein wide open with no synergies left, and they are facing a 7,000 Invictus. That will also add a regen from Perished. That is GG. ZweiStein has said they can't do anything. Going for lethal. And it is over, potentially. Is that them playing all their cards? It looks like it. Just confirming now. That is lethal. Congratulations to Apoc, the very first Master Tactician. Very well done there. Incredibly well done, sir. Wow. What an absolute battle that was. Very well played, ZweiStein, but Apoc has taken the match in dominant fashion, played the late game, and shown they are the Master Tactician. Congratulations, sir. I will have your prizes on the way soon, including a trophy and an apex of your likeness, sir. So, very well played. Thank you guys for watching. This is incredible history. It was great to have you guys here, and I'll see you all later.